This week and last on Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke, we take a moment to look back before venturing forward. Over the past year, we've been privileged to publish 44 individual stories. Each guest has spent an average of 7 weeks working one-on-one with Beyond Stillness to reflect on the wisdom gained through their recovery and craft a story to inspire fellow survivors. In this season of Thanksgiving, we've compiled a snippet of recovery wisdom or gratitude from each guest. Their courage to pause, reflect, and share their journey speaks volumes about the strength of the human spirit. It's through their vulnerability and resilience that others find hope, connection, and healing. I'm deeply honored to live and work in your presence and humbled by the Beyond Stillness community that has flourished in the past year. Together, we offer our experiences to uplift and inspire one another. As Chris Wilder said in his story, we are part of something greater. For that, and for each of you, I'm profoundly grateful. Thank you for joining us for part 4 of the 2024 Thanksgiving special.
Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke is made possible by our guests and tax-deductible donations from friends and listeners like you. Join us in empowering stroke survivors with stories of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope at www.beyondstillness.org.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke. Stroke offers a powerful, life-changing shift in perspective. Each colorful memory creates a parable for life's greater teachings, a compass for journeys ahead, and inspired wisdom for unique growth. Beyond Stillness offers a moment of pause for storytelling and reflection. Ultimately, we create a welcoming environment that reveres the moment beyond stroke's paralysis. Still moments unite humanity and divinity. I'm your host, Molly Bucola. As we begin today, we take a moment of pause to stop and give thanks for the people and experiences that have furthered our recovery and encouraged us to be and become our inspired selves. And we give thanks. Now, part 4 of the 2024 Thanksgiving special.
As a guiding theme towards rehab, I often share this quote from Gene Roddenberry. It is the struggle itself that is most important. We must strive to be more than we are. It does not matter if we ever reach our ultimate goals. The effort yields its own rewards. Stroke survivors and people with disabilities live with many challenges. Mental, physical, and emotional struggles are a part of each of our journeys. Through my own experience, I have learned the value of directing my passions toward tasks, goals, and objectives that I consider meaningful. When striving for ultimate goals, I find that it is essential to set smaller, achievable goals in the process in order to build up to what I want to achieve. I have also learned that this cannot be done without surrounding myself with supportive, loving people who understand my struggle and who can support me in my ambitions. Adaptations and consistent practice are also vital to progress when dealing with limitations. I believe that all people with disabilities are special because we have to find unique approaches to overcoming great odds. My hope for you, fellow stroke survivors, is that you will achieve your goals and in doing so, inspire others to achieve theirs.
Before the stroke, I loved the daily Peloton rides I would do. In physical therapy, I would watch Peloton class videos. My goal was to ride again, with both legs working 50-50. I wanted to be able to balance again. I vividly remember the time the bike they had could accommodate my wheelchair and back support. At one point, one of the therapists told me I would probably not be able to establish the core strength or balance to sit on the seat and ride ever again. I felt so discouraged and a little angry, but they didn't know me. I have been through a lot and I wouldn't let this keep me down. At one point, I wanted to move home, so I transferred to Dominican Hospital's outpatient rehab facility where there's a whole new set of therapists. I count these sets of therapists as a blessing. Each therapist brought a new insight and knowledge to my toolbox for progress and growth. There, my PT Joel taught my husband and I how to safely get on and off my Peloton bike so I could use my bike at home. I was determined to complete my 1,850th ride on the night I moved back into my home. I picked an easy recovery ride, but it was a ride, not just a ride, but a ride on my Peloton. A ride I had been discouraged from believing I'd be able to take. I invited some of my Peloton friends and followers and other users to ride with me. You can choose a specific ride at a specific time and all log in together to appear together on the leaderboard. So we were all able to digitally high-five one another. My husband helped me put my AFO brace in the left shoe, and I was able to handle my right foot easily. He also lowered the seat so I could get on more safely and then raised it so I could begin pedaling. It felt good to have a team to support me and people who believed in me. A few friends even changed their hashtags to read, "Welcome back, Christy." I'm not sure anything could have felt more encouraging to read all of those messages directed specifically to me. I knew I was determined and could ride, so I got started pedaling on my bike to nowhere, and I rode my 1,850th ride with the support and love of friends and family and Peloton instructors. Their encouraging words felt so good. The next day, I received a message in my email from Peloton about a new offering for a Persons with Disabilities Day to ride on the Peloton app. The instructor, Badley Rose, suffered a stroke 4 years prior to this class. I felt elated. They see me, I thought. He can relate to me. Seeing Bradley riding using both arms was inspiring to me. I still try to ride each week with him. The things he says are so inspiring. Sometimes I just want to crawl out of my body, but he reminds me that I know myself better than anyone else. He says the longer, more challenging road is the one that leads you to a long-term recovery. The short, easy fix is appealing, but doesn't lead to the same quality of results you're seeking. Just give yourself the grace to heal and achieve your goals. I have to remind myself this all day, every day. The recovery journey sometimes feels monotonous, but one of my therapists compared our work to a field of standing grass. Imagine a hillside full of tall grass. You want to get across and you have to walk through it to make a path. The next day, the grass is tall and the path is gone, so you repeat that process for days and days until that pathway becomes permanent. That's monotonous, but it also establishes a long-term path, and that's recovery. I've learned that there's always a way forward. Sometimes the way is unclear or feels like it's going nowhere, but there's always hope in the journey.
My godfather gave me advice when I had my stroke. He said, let the nurses and doctors do their thing and you do your thing. That's all he said to me. He's a man of few words, so I took that to heart. Looking back, I realized he was telling me that I need to strive to do better and get better. I need to do my thing and stop acting like a victim. My thing is doing what I can every day. Before the stroke, I was an athlete. I knew it was the like to want more and work for more. But still, I wasn't making progress. My wife and doctors decided I need to do something else. That's when my doctor set me up with Shirley Ryan availability labs. When I first got there, I didn't know what to do. I was scared and watched so many patients with all types of brain injury. Some couldn't walk or talk or even identify the person that was bringing them there. When I got there the first week, I spoke to all the teachers and rehab technicians. They really had me going and thinking. They told me that I was going to make it through this. I just had to listen and do what they said. I had transportation to Shirley Ryan, and that's when I met my friend, Calvin. He was also in the hospital for 31 days and also shared his story on the podcast. When Calvin first arrived to Shirley Ryan, he was giving everybody smiles, hellos, thank you, words of wisdom, and Bible quotes. I observed Calvin's mannerisms. He was positively lifting those around him. Just watching him made me smile, made me want to do better and get better. I became friends with Calvin, joining his entourage, as you would say. I wanted to do better, and he kept me going, and all through rehab. Calvin is one of the most sincere people I've ever met. His encouragement boosted the patients, therapists, and the whole program. Calvin is a very godly man. He actually lives the Bible quotes that he shares. That's Calvin. Throughout the rehab, I had many bad days and many good days. Whenever I was at the Shirley Reliability Lab, it was a good day. When I returned home, my wife and son would greet me. Rehab was really helpful for me. I believe it was God sent. I was in rehab with all types of people. I was scared the future, but I encouraged by them. Their achievements proved me that I could do it. I could do it. The rehab doctor kept saying I was getting better, and I saw progress too. Once a week, a doctor from Rush would arrive and evaluate my process. After 4 weeks of rehab, the doctor told me I was ready to graduate. I was actually a little disappointed. I enjoyed the bus to Shirley Ryan with the 12 other people from my part of town. I enjoyed the other patients in the program and everyone on the staff. We had a sense of camaraderie. I've become a better person since the stroke and since being in rehab. Calvin is still my friend. I keep in touch with him and we share memories of rehab and people we met there.
Music became my springboard, the light that divided the darkness, and I was going to grab onto it with my 1.3333 functioning hand, hold on as tight as I could and not let go. Use it as a shield to fend off depression, a weapon to fight anxiety that seemed to characterize a stroke life. In the wee hours of the morning, through to the late moments of the evening, stillness and simplicity would flow. Ideas, lyrics, melodies, appearing from nowhere, from somewhere, from anywhere and everywhere. I had to write them down, mold them into shape, develop them into existence, give them life. But I needed help. I couldn't do it on my own. Stroke stole my guitar playing skills. So I called an old musician buddy to lend a hand, a mate to collaborate. It first began with an old upright piano I bought from eBay, delivery fee far exceeding purchase price. As I sat, my one good hand tinkering about upon the keys, playing whatever, and it just came out. Words, music, music, words. Those sweet hymns hummed in the dead of the night evolved into songs. They became my secret little treasures, my sparkling diamonds, bringing me back to that place I most loved to be, lost in music. In those late night quiet moments, the time for reflection, as I scroll through my mind's snapshots, the hurdles, the hardship, the heartache, I pause, I ponder, I give thanks to all those challenges. Stroke had blown me out of the water, detonating beneath me, sending me hurtling into space. And music was my parachute, providing me with a safe landing. It saved my life.
Every person's recovery process is different, so there's no one-size-fits-all answer. And recovery from a stroke or a brain injury is something that you have to work at. The best person to drive the process is you. The emotional and mental health aspects of having a stroke are something that many survivors experience and struggle with. Breath is very important. My diving experience taught me to control my breath in such a way that I can ascend a few meters to avoid an obstacle. Controlling my breath as a diver, as a musician, as a yoga nidra practitioner, and as a stroke survivor gives me the opportunity to see life with a different perspective. I'm able to hover above and explore and connect with the world in what you might call an otherworldly way. Like when I dived, I kind of feel like an alien. When I do yoga nidra, I can really feel like I'm observing myself through these exercises and then through the visualization. And I need to remember sometimes that there is life beyond panic. Panic doesn't mean that that's the end. And controlling your breath and having an opportunity to really deep dive, and I mean that in a spiritual sense, can really have a big impact on you. And I'm reminded that we're made up of mind, soul, and body, and that these things are connected in so many ways. Breathing is important for everybody. Being aware that we can improve our breathing, stroke victim or not, can really help improve our quality of life. Whether it's exercise, yoga nidra, seeing, breath work, can really help you see things from a different perspective. So I have now a very powerful tool which I can use to help me in many different circumstances. I just have to remember how and when to use it. My hope for you, my fellow stroke survivors, is that you each find your own special way to move forward in your recovery.
When I return home, I have to work on healing the most important part of my body, which is the brain. The brain controls touching, thinking, reaching, eating. It controls everything I do. I have to work on the brain, sending signals to every single part of my body. I have to work on the brain's sending signals to every single part of my mind. I have to use my brain as sending signals to every part of my life. Wow. I knew this was going to be a long road, but I didn't know how long. Nor did I know what back to normal was. As I reflect on the last 6 months of my healing process, I have come to realize or come to know and understand that healing on the outside is more faster than healing on the inside. Although the outside healing have taken a far amount of time already, but the inside healing is much slower. I think of a healing process like when I was building a building back in the day. You build the outside of the house first. Then once the outside, you frame it up, seal it, then you can work on the inside. There's a lot of medical doctors, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, and programs focused on building the outside of me, my body. But I don't see any profession working on stroke survivors on building the inside. So that's what I'm focused on in this story today. People don't talk much about the need to build the inside of a stroke survivor, of their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, their confidence, their spirit. I wasn't aware of it. Neither until I experienced this great frustration. I want to be able to do more than I can do. I want to share some things I've learned and that help me to heal on the inside.
Turns out my superpower is trusting that I am enough, trusting my authenticity. One night after the show, a man that I didn't know came up and introduced himself to me as a fellow stroke survivor. As he shook my hand, he said, "Thank you for telling our story." I immediately started crying because that was the moment I understood. This is much bigger than me just doing a show. This is bigger than me. This is why me. I'm here to tell the story. When we share our stories, we create empathy and connection. A director once told me that any great theater performance in front of a live audience becomes a collective experience. The individuals on stage reflect and honor the unseen places within every audience member. Everyone leans in at the same time, laughs at the same time, feels at the same time. So much so that it's said that when an audience feels connected to a performance, that their hearts actually beat in unison. Now, how magical is that? Many of us that survive strokes want to raise awareness, to build community, to give back, to help in any way that we can. I like to think that we all help in the way that we know how. I have friends that have written books, friends that run support groups, and friends that host stroke-centric podcasts. That's what they knew how to do. What I know how to do is to tell a story and to make it the most engaging, funny, and transformative theatrical experience you've ever seen. I share my stories so that others can feel safe, seen, and heard. I make myself visible so that you are visible. And you are visible so that I am visible. The stroke didn't break me. It cracked me open. It cracked me open and revealed my authentic self. He's been hidden away for a long, long time, masked by years of shape-shifting and people-pleasing, hidden by years of making himself small to make other people comfortable, being whatever anyone else wanted him to be, anything other than himself. He's been dying to come out. And it took having the stroke to do it. I'm still getting to know him, this new Michael 2.0. Some people aren't going to like him. And for the first time in my life, that's okay. It doesn't matter anymore that everyone likes him. What matters is that I like him. And so far, I kind of do. When I meet people now, I want them to meet Michael, the authentic Michael, so that I can meet their authentic self. Because ultimately, that's how we all deserve to be seen.
Thank you, Michael Shutt. And thanks to Mitch Raymond, Christy Haas, Ricardo Coleman, Antonio Inella, Peter Cass, and Calvin Randall for contributing to this Thanksgiving special. Storytelling empowers us to share our experiences in a way that invites others to reflect on their own. In closing, we offer reflection questions as an opportunity to spark dialogue with yourself, friends, family, or fellow stroke survivors. In a moment, I will read questions aloud. You can also find them written in the podcast episode description. Community conversation prompts. While reflecting upon your recovery, for whom are you grateful? Why? How could you show or tell them about your gratitude this week?
Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke is made possible by our guests and tax-deductible donations from friends and listeners like you. Join us in empowering stroke survivors with stories of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope at www.beyondstillness.org. Another way to support is to like, share, or subscribe to our weekly show. Again, thank you for devoting time and space for this week's episode of Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke.
Thank you for listening to Part 4 of the 2024 Thanksgiving Special. Each colorful memory creates a parable for life's greater teachings, a compass for journeys ahead, and inspired wisdom for unique growth. As we close this episode of Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke, let's carry forward the wisdom and gratitude shared by our guests. Their reflections remind us that recovery is not just about healing the body, but also rediscovering purpose, connection, and hope. As we close today's episode, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Honor how far you have come, and know that together we are part of something greater. Thank you for being part of this journey and for helping us build a community that celebrates resilience and shared strength. If today's episode inspired you, consider sharing it with someone who might need a reminder that they are not alone. And consider donating to Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke.
If you are part of the stroke community and have a story you'd like to share on the show, please contact us. Email molly@beyondstillness.org.